Welcome to this video, where we explore the top 3 most valuable Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel coins. Classic American coins that may look simple, but a few rare dates and minting mistakes have turned them into treasures worth thousands. Let's uncover the 3 Jefferson nickels that stand above the rest in value and rarity. Let's get started. First up, the Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel from 1990, struck with the P mint mark, found in fully circulated condition. This is a coin that many people still come across in their everyday change, yet it carries a rich history, an iconic design, and decades of circulation that have given it character and story. Throughout this script, we'll explore its background, appearance, mint information, collecting interest, and the subtle details that make the 1990 P Jefferson nickel worth paying attention to. To a journey through time with a humble coin that has passed through countless hands, vending machines, pockets, and drawers. The circulated 1990 Jefferson nickel may seem ordinary at first glance, but every mark, scratch, and faded detail reveals a piece of America's numismatic heritage. Today's exploration will slow down and let us truly appreciate what this coin represents. The 1990 Jefferson nickel comes from the Philadelphia Mint, a facility known for producing billions of coins annually. The P mint mark sits neatly on the obverse, just to the right of Thomas Jefferson's bust. On a circulated example, this mint mark may appear softened or slightly worn, but it still offers an important identity for collectors. On the front of the coin, the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson, designed by Felix Schlag, takes center stage. In circulated condition, the finer features of his hair, cheek, and collar might be faded from years of use. Yet even with heavy wear, Jefferson's dignified expression remains recognizable and strong, reflecting the long-standing stability of this classic U.S. design. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," flank the portrait, though in circulated coins these words may appear slightly dull or flattened. The date 1990 rests clearly on the right side, though it might show softened edges depending on how much circulation the coin has seen. Turning the coin over to the reverse, we see the famous Monticello design. This iconic building, Jefferson's Virginia home, stands as a symbol of architecture, heritage, and American history. On circulated specimens, the dome may show wear, the pillars might appear faint, and the steps can be almost completely smoothed out. The words Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America remain visible but often dull when examined closely on a circulated piece. E pluribus unum, displayed at the top of the reverse, may also lose crispness, blending slightly into the background from years of friction against surfaces and other coins. Coins from 1990 were produced in large numbers, making them common today. However, circulated examples still hold interest for collectors who enjoy assembling year-and-mint sets or studying how coins age. The worn details on a 1990 nickel offer a beautiful example of how time transforms everyday coinage. The circulated condition also tells us much about the environments the coin traveled through. Some 1990 nickels show darker tones from oxidation, while others develop a somewhat smooth, almost polished effect from constant handling. Every circulated coin wears its own unique pattern. The composition of the 1990 Jefferson nickel remains the standard copper-nickel alloy. Over time, this alloy can develop subtle changes in shade, giving some circulated nickels a slightly grayish, muted look. It's this naturally aged appearance that many collectors appreciate. Throughout its years in circulation, this nickel likely passed through a variety of transactions: grocery stores, gas stations, arcade games, school cafeterias, and more. Imagining these small moments helps connect us to the story behind the wear on the coin today. The 1990 P nickel is also an interesting example for teaching new collectors about grading. Circulated coins can range from good to extremely fine, depending on how visible the details remain. Using this particular coin can help beginners learn to compare levels of wear and understand how grading affects value. While the 1990 Jefferson nickel is generally worth its face value in circulated condition, it still holds appeal because it represents a long-running design that stood unchanged for decades. From 1938 through 2003, this design remained a staple of American currency. The Monticello reverse is especially symbolic, showing the architectural brilliance of Jefferson's home. Even when its details are worn, the building's silhouette still stands out, reminding collectors of the coin's deep roots in U.S. history. Because the 1990 P nickel belonged to a period of high-volume minting, finding uncirculated or high-grade examples today is easy, but circulated examples tell a more personal story. These coins reflect the journey of everyday commerce and human interaction. Collectors also enjoy hunting for minor variations or errors, even in common years like 1990. While most examples are standard, circulated coins can occasionally surprise you with small die cracks, filled mint marks, or slight misalignments. These aren't common, but they add to the fun of searching. For YouTube creators, showing a circulated 1990p Jefferson nickel offers a chance to educate and engage viewers. It's a coin everyone recognizes, yet many people overlook. Highlighting its history, design, and aging process brings awareness to something many take for granted. The smoothness of the coin's edges, the worn-down relief, and the softer overall appearance are typical of a circulated nickel from this era. Explaining these wear patterns helps viewers understand what happens to coins after decades of use. One thing that stands out with circulated nickels is the fading of the steps on Monticello. On many heavily worn examples, the steps appear almost completely merged into the building's base, which is a key detail used by collectors assessing condition. The story of the Jefferson nickel also speaks to America's evolving coinage. This design spanned multiple generations, wars, cultural changes, and economic shifts. Holding a 1990 example is like holding a small artifact from a not-too-distant chapter of history. The Philadelphia Mint, which produced this coin, remains one of the most active minting facilities in the world. Seeing the P Mint mark on your 1990 nickel connects you directly to this rich legacy of craftsmanship and production. As you examine the circulated coin, the worn surfaces may reflect light differently, creating a duller, less shiny appearance than newer coins. This subdued look is part of what makes circulated coins visually appealing in their own rustic way. Discussing circulated coins also reminds viewers that collecting doesn't always require rare pieces. Even everyday coins offer educational and historical value. The 1990p nickel is a perfect example of how a simple 5-cent piece can spark interest and curiosity. When highlighting this coin on your channel, you can encourage viewers to check their own pocket change. Their satisfaction in discovering a slightly older coin mixed with the modern ones, and each find adds a small accomplishment to a collector's journey. Toward the end of your video, you can reflect on how coins like this continue circulating for decades. Next up, the Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel from the year 2000, struck with the D mint mark and found in fully circulated condition. This humble nickel may appear ordinary at first glance, but it carries over 2 decades of circulation, history, and character. Today, we'll take an in-depth look at its design, condition, background, and collector interest in a smooth and engaging 32-paragraph script designed perfectly for your YouTube audience. To this exploration of a coin that many people have seen but rarely take the time to appreciate, the 2000 D Jefferson nickel. This circulated piece has traveled through countless pockets, cash registers, and daily transactions, gathering a unique story told through its worn surfaces. The 2000 D Mint mark identifies this nickel as having been produced at the Denver Mint, one of the major facilities in the U.S. mint system. On a circulated coin, the D Mint mark may appear slightly faded, but it still stands as a clear mark of origin and authenticity. On the obverse of the coin, the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson dominates the design. Created by Felix Schlag, this portrait has been a long-standing icon of U.S. coinage since 1938. On circulated 2000 D nickels, Jefferson's cheekbone, hair strands, and jawline often appear softened from years of handling. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," may also show signs of wear on circulated coins. These letters lose their sharp edges through time, flattening slightly as the coin experiences friction from circulation. The date 2000 remains on the right side of the obverse. Circulated examples show rounding along the number edges, a natural result of 2 decades of use. Even with wear, the date remains easy to read and is one of the key identifiers for collectors. Turning the coin to its reverse, Monticello stands proudly in the center. This design, also by Felix Schlag, portrays the historic home of Thomas Jefferson in a classical architectural style that has become symbolic in U.S. numismatics. In circulated condition, Monticello's steps often appear smooth or almost entirely worn away. This is one of the first areas collectors check when assessing condition, because the steps are among the highest points on the coin's design and therefore wear down quickly. The dome of Monticello, the pillars, and the building's overall shape usually remain visible even on circulated coins, but the finer line details become blurred or merged due to years of use. This blending of details creates a soft, aged look that many collectors find charming. Above the building rests the motto, E Pluribus Unum. On circulated coins, this inscription may appear smoothed or lightly faded, though still readable. The loss of detail reflects the natural aging process of copper-nickel coins. Below the building, the word Monticello serves as a direct label for the design. On a heavily circulated 2000D nickel, this word may appear dull, less raised, or lightly worn, blending slightly into the surface of the coin. The words 5 cents and United States of America on the lower part of the reverse typically remain visible even on well-circulated examples. These inscriptions tend to hold up better because they sit lower in relief compared to the finer architectural details. The circulated appearance of a 2000D nickel tells a visual story. Each scratch, dark patch, and worn detail hints at the environments it has traveled through: pockets, wallets, change drawers, parking meters, and countless cash transactions. Collectors often appreciate circulated coins like this because they represent everyday history. A coin minted in 2000 has lived through more than 2 decades of economic and cultural change, and its condition reflects that long journey. The coin's copper-nickel composition takes on different tones over time, especially after years of handling. Circulated 2000D nickels may develop grayish patches, muted surfaces, or slightly darker edges, all of which give the coin an aged but attractive character. Holding a circulated nickel offers a unique tactile experience. The once pronounced edges and details become smooth, creating a softer feel that hints at thousands of interactions throughout its lifetime. Even though circulated 2000D nickels hold only face value in most cases, collectors still find interest in them because they date from the final years of the classic Jefferson design, just before the major changes introduced in 2004. For YouTube viewers, showcasing this coin offers an opportunity to highlight how everyday coins evolve. Many people never examine nickels closely, so your video can help them discover the beauty and complexity hidden in plain sight. Discussing the Denver Mint also adds richness to your script. The D Mint mark connects the coin to a facility known for producing billions of circulating coins and for its role in shaping American currency history. Examining circulation where helps your audience understand how grading works. You can point out how Jefferson's hair loses its sharp lines, how Monticello's steps wear down, and how inscriptions slowly fade, all important indicators in coin evaluation. Circulated coins like this also serve as great examples for explaining how strikes vary. The 2000D nickel typically features strong strikes, but circulation quickly softens those once sharp features, creating an entirely different look over time. Your audience may also enjoy learning about possible errors that appear in some 2000 nickels. While not common, light die cracks, filled dies, or minor misalignments do occur and can add excitement to coin searching. The soft, matte-like finish that develops on circulated coins gives them a distinctive presence, especially under bright lighting in videos. This natural coloration helps the coin stand out even without brilliant luster. Over 20 years of circulation is enough time for a coin to become part of countless small moments: receiving change at a grocery store, paying for a meal, or being stored away in a jar. These everyday interactions give circulated coins emotional significance. Highlighting the durability of the Jefferson design in your video is valuable. From 1938 to 2003, this design served Americans for generations, and the 2000D nickel represents one of the final years of its long, familiar presence. Every circulated coin has a story, and the 2000D nickel carries the story of its own era. It reflects the economy, spending habits, and everyday life of people from the early 2000s onward. As your script approaches its conclusion, you can reflect on how coins like this encourage people to explore numismatics casually and affordably. Even a common circulated nickel can inspire curiosity and learning. Next up, the Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel from 1995, featuring the D Mint mark and showing the honest, dirty circulated condition that tells its own unique story. In this video, we will walk through everything that makes this coin interesting, from its background and design to its real-world collector value and the charm that comes with decades of circulation. Welcome once again, and let's begin by looking at what makes the Jefferson nickel series so enduring in American coinage. Introduced in 1938, this series replaced the Buffalo nickel and brought a fresh new design featuring President Thomas Jefferson, one of the most influential figures in American history. Even decades later, the coin remains a dominant part of everyday change and continues to be one of the most commonly collected U.S. coins. This 1995 Jefferson nickel with the D Mint mark was produced at the Denver Mint, which has always been known for its massive annual output. Like many modern-era nickels, the 1995 D is widely available, but the condition, wear pattern, and the stories behind each circulated example make every coin slightly unique. In this video, we highlight a coin in dirty circulated condition, which simply means it has been through countless hands, pockets, registers, and cash drawers. The dirt and wear don't reduce its historical significance. Instead, they enhance the sense of age and journey that comes with a nearly 30-year-old coin. As we begin examining the obverse, you'll immediately notice Jefferson's profile, a classic design by Felix Schlag. Even with the dirt and circulation marks, you can still make out the strong details of Jefferson's facial features, the contour of his coat, and the inscription, "In God We Trust," that runs along the left side. The date, 1995, sits firmly to the right of the portrait, and just beside it is the small but important D mint mark, indicating that this coin was produced in Denver. On circulated coins like this, the mint mark may be slightly softened, but it remains a crucial part of identifying the coin's origin. Moving on to the obverse field, the surface where tells the story of the coin's journey through decades of circulation. The dirty patches, discoloration, and minor abrasions show how widely this nickel has traveled, giving it character unique to your specific specimen. Now we turn to the reverse, which proudly displays the Monticello building, Jefferson's iconic home in Virginia. Even in circulated condition, you can still see the shape of the famous dome, pillars, and steps, though softened by years of use. The text, Monticello, remains centered beneath the building, along with the motto, E pluribus unum, above, and the denomination, 5 cents, and United States of America, near the bottom rim. While dirt and wear may dull the appearance, the structure of the design still holds strong. The circulated state of this 1995 D nickel offers collectors insight into how real-world use affects a coin over time. Instead of a sharp, glossy finish, this coin carries a muted, rugged tone that comes only from genuine, long-term circulation. For new collectors, circulated condition coins like this are perfect entry points because they are affordable, accessible, and full of character. You can easily build a date and mint set of Jefferson nickels starting with pieces just like this one. Let's talk about composition. The 1995 D Jefferson nickel features the classic 75% copper and 25% nickel blend, giving it durability and the recognizable silver-gray color you still see through the dirt and wear on your coin. Although the coin is not considered rare, especially in circulated condition, it still represents a complete chapter of U.S. coinage history. Collectors appreciate it for its design continuity and its connection to the long-running Jefferson nickel series. Value-wise, a 1995 D nickel in dirty circulated condition typically holds its face value of 5 cents, though some collectors might pay a small premium if the coin has unusual toning, errors, or sentimental collecting value. Speaking of errors, it's always a good idea to check for die cracks, off-center strikes, and worn steps on Monticello, called the full steps designation. However, circulated dirty coins rarely qualify, as heavy wear removes the fine details needed for premium grading. Still, every coin, even circulated ones, has the potential to surprise you. Collectors have found interesting die wear patterns and unique coloration on circulated 1990s Jefferson nickels that make them a fun addition to any collection. Now let's take a moment to appreciate the longevity of the Jefferson nickel design. For decades, this portrait and Monticello reverse remained unchanged, making the 1995 D part of a long and iconic period of American coinage. The dirty circulated condition of your coin reminds us that coins are more than metal, they're tangible pieces of economic history. This 1995 D nickel has likely been exchanged thousands of times, playing a small part in the lives of countless people. Imagine the different pockets this coin has traveled through, from everyday purchases to store registers, vending machines, and cash drawers. The wear is proof of a full life of service in the American economy. Collectors often enjoy imagining the journey of a circulated coin. This 1995 D nickel may have passed through grocery stores, gas stations, schools, workplaces, or even crossed state lines in someone's pocket. The dirt embedded in the surface tells us it hasn't been cleaned or altered, which is a good thing. Cleaning coins damages them and reduces collector appeal. Natural wear is always preferred. For anyone building a Jefferson nickel collection, the 1995 D is a common but necessary piece. Its presence helps complete a date mint series and contributes to a better understanding of the nickel's evolution. As we examine the rim, you may notice flattening or small nicks. These are perfectly normal on circulated coins and do not significantly affect value unless the damage is extreme. The edges of the letters and numbers on both sides of the coin may appear faint or rounded, but this is consistent with a coin that has been in use for almost 3 decades. The darker patches or dirty tones may hide some minor details, yet they also give the coin an aged, authentic look that many collectors actually prefer over bright, artificially cleaned surfaces. Even though this is not a high-value or rare coin, it holds educational and historical importance. Every collector starts somewhere, and circulated modern coins like this 1995 D nickel offer an excellent beginning. If you are documenting your collection or creating content about your coins, pieces like this allow you to share real, relatable examples of U.S. circulating coinage rather than only showing rare or expensive collectibles. As we continue exploring the features of your coin, remember that its true value lies not only in rarity but in the excitement of collecting, discovering, and learning. This journey through your 1995 D. Jefferson nickel shows just how much history, design, and character can be found in a simple 5-cent piece, even one in dirty circulated condition. Thank you for joining this detailed exploration, and I hope this script helps bring your YouTube video to life with clarity, style, and engaging storytelling.